Hey everybody, this is Joseph Pasek, and welcome to the Fired Up Network. Welcome to Crunching the Numbers Week 1 preview and picks of the National Football League with two-time Emmy Award winner from ESPN, my good friend Mark Everett Kelly. Haven't seen him lately, but Mark, how you doing first of all?
Very good, Joe. It's nice to be back. I think last time we did this was during the pandemic, right?
Yeah, during the pandemic and everything like that. But you made a good impression that everybody, Chris Berman told me to get you on. You're an Emmy Award winner, two-time Emmy Award winner. Do you want to tell, first of all, before we start, do you want to tell everybody what it feels like to win an Emmy Award? It's like the Grammys, the Oscars, everything like that. Did you get the paparazzi on you? Are you planning to marry Taylor Swift with like a $555,000 ring? Come on.
Yeah, it was a little bit with the paparazzi guy. It was kind of like Princess Di. It kind of got really dangerous, but no. I mean, please. I was part of a show. Sports Center was one of the best shows back then, 2003, 2004, and everything we did was great.
It still is probably so. And ESPN now has part of the NFL network. We'll touch on that later on.
But they got the WWE too.
Well, see, after my own heart. See, you remember that.
Yeah, okay, I love wrestling too. Yeah, I'm right up there with you.
You love wrestling too. Maybe I should get Karrion Kross on to give you some moves or some suplexes and all that. But 1:00 game. We'll start off with Tampa Bay, Atlanta. Tampa's favorite by 1.5. Who do you like in that one?
Let me talk to you. Well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. MEK. All right. So, but I think Tampa's one of the best teams in the NFL. I mean, you look at what Baker Mayfield did last year, over 4,000 passing yards, 70% completion rate. Him and Joe Burrow had similar years, 40 touchdowns. They had 40 touchdowns, over 4,000 yards, and completed 70% of their passes. Incredible numbers for quarterbacks, even though now everybody's passed 4,000 yards. By the way, the only team that has not have a 4,000-yard passer in their history are the Bears. Yep. And I don't know if they will this year anyway. But I think, I like Tampa. Tampa's, to me, would be one of the best teams in the NFC.
All right, next game. Hopefully he doesn't get injured the first snap. The Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to his former team, the New York Jets. Pittsburgh favored by 2.5 on Sunday, 1 p.m. Who you got?
Okay, well, the Jets have won 4 of the last 5 times that they've played the Steelers at home. Remember, they used to have a rough time beating the Steelers. I think the first time they beat the Steelers was like 93, 94. It's been, took them a long time to finally beat them. And you got Aaron Rodgers, who was the Jets quarterback last year, and then you got Wilson. Was it Wilson? Who's the Jets
Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson went to the Giants.
No, not Russell Wilson.
The Jets.
Justin Fields. Who was the
Justin Fields?
Now he didn't play last year. Last year was the first game that Wilson played was against the Jets on Sunday night, and just winning that game until Aaron Rodgers threw a big pick late in the first half, and that kind of turned the whole game around. Pittsburgh this year, they're veteran-laden team. They gave away Minka Fitzpatrick for Ramsey. I don't know if I like that move, and also the Najee. They gave away Najee, so. I don't think they're as strong, even though Aaron Rodgers is still great. It's funny, you have four of the top quarterbacks in NFL history are in the NFC, at the AFC Central. You got Joe Burrow, you got Aaron Rodgers, and you got the
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson, as far as, top-rated quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And because it's at home, but the Jets, again, they usually do not get off to a good start. I think the last time they won in week 1 was 2018 when they beat the Lions in Sam Darnold's first NFL game. So I do not – and the last time the Jets had back-to-back seasons of 10 or more wins was 85-86. This is a franchise only has 2 division titles. Even the Lions, everyone else has at least 5 since the merger. I like that. I think the Steelers will still win. The Jets are – getting better, though. I think this was a good first step for them. I think getting rid of Rodgers last year was supposed to be their year. 2 years ago, they were supposed to probably play in a Super Bowl, and then typical Rodgers gets hurt like Testaverde did in '99. So I think the Steelers are better for week 1. I think the Jets will be better overall at the end of the year.
All right, so let's get to the Miami Dolphins going into Indianapolis, taking on the Colts. The Colts favored by 1.5. They don't have Richardson. Let's. What's the deal with both teams? It's all a mix of Miami and a very good division with the Bills, and the Colts. If they have a quarterback and they play well, the Colts could win that division.
Yeah, well, by default. I mean,
Yeah,
Daniel Jones is going to be the starting quarterback. The Giants gave up on him. And I mean, Daniel Jones is an average NFL quarterback. I think he's definitely better than Richardson, which outside of the game against the Jets when he went down up and down the field 3 times in the fourth quarter. Usually you couldn't put together 2 drives like that in a game. And this is former division rivals. This is the 3rd time they've played in week 1 of the NFL season. The last time they played in week 1 was Peyton Manning's debut in 1998. And yeah, maybe Dan Marino, 93, 97, 98, they played the Colts in week 1. And the Dolphins are 8-2 against them since the Colts and them are no longer division rivals, which ended in 2002. And I think the Dolphins are better. If the Dolphins ever going to do anything, Tua's got to stay healthy and they got to beat teams like the Colts.
all right, and you're calling for the Dolphins to win, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, the next game, 1 o'clock. Carolina into Jacksonville. Jacksonville favored by 3.5, and this is a sneaky game because Carolina the last couple weeks last year were on the come up, and now Jacksonville playing at home, and it's the first game of the season. Jacksonville always surprises in the first game and then loses the second, third, and all that. So 3.5, this could be a field goal game. So do you tend to go with Carolina if it's a field goal game, or do you like Jacksonville, by 4 or more?
Well, I think this is the battle of maybe underachieving quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence was supposed to be the guy coming in 2021, the #1 overall draft pick. And then at Carolina, they played well toward the end of the year last year, which I think why some teams, I mean, I think John Gruden actually picked them to make the Super Bowl. Now, I don't know if they're going to be that good because just the way they started last year, I believe they were, 3-11, the way they started the year. And Bryce Young just really struggled. Toward the end of the year, he picked it up a little bit. And I think that's where the promise kind of lays in for them this year. But for week 1, I think Jacksonville is better than them. But I think Carolina, a lot of people are picking them to be better this year. I don't think they'll see it week 1. Jacksonville's got to finally step up and do something. Yeah, they had a great comeback win in the playoffs where they were down, 30-0 against the Chargers. They came back and win, and they haven't been heard from since.
Yeah, so it should be interesting to see because all these teams, we're going to talk about let's talk about them now. Cincinnati and Cleveland. Into Cleveland. Cincinnati favored by 5.5 points. You know what? This is sneaky because Cincinnati always comes up at the end of the year. They need wins. They get wins and all that. They always start off bad. In Cleveland, they haven't been Cleveland in I don't know how long when they play them. So it's what do you say about that? Cincinnati, there arguably is another team who have Super Bowl aspirations in the AFC. I would say it's the Bills, Kansas City, the Ravens, and probably Cincinnati.
Well, if Cincinnati's defense can get better, I mean, their defense was historically not just bad, but awful last year.
Yeah.
I think they lost 4 games where they scored 33 or more points, which was an NFL record. Then you had Joe Burrow, who played great last year. Burrow, I think, set the NFL record 7 straight games with 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he, to me, is one of the best quarterbacks in the game. And he can take them as far as he wants to, as far as the defense will allow them to be taken. You look at the fact that the Bengals have lost 6 of the last 7 against the Browns, and that's kind of bad. And they've started the season off bad the last 3 or 4 years, starting 0-2 every year. But this year they had a little mercy on them. Cleveland was 3-14 last year, even though they split with the Bengals. I still think the Bengals are better, and I think Joe Burrow is going to have an even better year this year. That's how good he is. And again, we mentioned over 40 touchdowns, 70% completion percentage, thrown for over 4,000 yards, almost 5,000 yards. This is an elite quarterback.
Yeah, and that should be interesting game there because another division, the Giants, and they got to be better, against the Washington Commanders, 1 o'clock. Washington favored by 6.5.
Well, you look at the way Washington played last year; they stuck up on everybody, and making the NFC Championship game. I don't think anybody thought that that would happen. Beating the Lions in the NFC divisional round. I think the Giants' defense is going to be one of the best in the league, but I still think Washington, if they're going to be who they were toward the end of the year, and people are expecting a lot of them, I think they need to beat the Giants.
Yeah, and they definitely need to beat the Giants. Then you got arguably one of the games that you want to turn the channel here, unless you're looking for one specific fantasy. It's Arizona and New Orleans.
Yeah, well, Spencer Rattler at South Carolina, I mean, he talked about a cursed team. I don't know, I say cursed. My ex-wife was South Carolina grad, so I know how much she would struggle watching them play in the
Yeah,
SEC. Rattler, I think, is typical of what New Orleans was. Remember last year, New Orleans won the first couple of games. They looked pretty good, and then they just tanked. I think they'll be one of the worst teams in the league. Um, so I don't expect much from them this season at all.
okay, and the final 1 p.m. game, we got the Raiders, the Patriots. The Patriots favored by 2.5. They brought back their former player and good coach. A lot of people are expecting something different with the Patriots, but also people are well. I don't know what to expect with the Raiders either, right? So this could be a toss-up, a field goal game. Patriots favored by 2.5.
Well, remember, Pete Carroll used to coach the Patriots way back in the day. He was the predecessor to
Yep.
I resigned as HC of the NYJ.
Yes.
So I think, though, as Chris Berman would say, the Raiders, I think that they'll be better this year. Uh, Pete Carroll brings that excitement with him. I mean, I never thought Pete Carroll was going to be that great of a head coach because he was just too nice of a guy. Then he goes to USC and just blows everybody away. And then he should have won 2 Super Bowls with the Seahawks if he didn't totally have a brain meltdown on first and goal at the one. That still pisses me off, by the way.
Yeah. It's I can't believe he didn't give the ball. And
No,
Patriots were. It looks like they were
they were
knowing that
ready.
they're going to lose. They're
Yeah,
knowing that, and they couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it. So
that was Belichick's mantra, which is blowing a lead in the last 2 minutes of the Super Bowl. He did it against the Rams. He did it against the Titans. Not the Titans, against the Panthers. The
yeah,
Giants beat him twice that way. Okay, and then they had him at the 1 yard line. And the thing that pisses me off is that Belichick said the reason why he didn't call timeout, because everyone's wondering why he didn't call timeout, because they let all those seconds go off after Beast Mode took the ball down to the 1 yard line.
yep,
And he said, "Well, I sensed a little uneven. Well, you didn't. A little They made a dumb play call. Like you couldn't sense that they were going to throw the ball, and the cornerback made the greatest play I've ever seen in NFL
yep,
history. And reading that play and then remembering what they had practiced, and then how does Belichick reward him? You never hear from the guy again, right? And nobody
yeah.
really knows what happened.
Incredible that they come so close, and you have the Beast Mode there, and
Mm-hmm. And but
it's another.
that guy saved the game twice because the catch, I forget what was made the catch on the 5 yard line when the ball
Yeah,
looked like it was going to be incomplete, and then it got caught in his stomach,
yeah,
and
yeah,
everyone thought the play was dead. And next thing you know, he's running to the end zone, and he was tackled there where most guys would have given up on a play. If you remember Antonio Freeman Monday Night Football, same
well,
thing
yeah,
happened with that.
exactly.
He did
So
what? Al Michaels would say. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. 405 games now. 405 games. So we complete the list at 1 o'clock. So 405 game. And this is traditionally, I can't believe it's in week one, traditionally a good matchup. 49ers at Seahawks. 49ers favored by 2.5 points. These guys always battle at the end of the season to see who wins the division. Now they're gonna battle in the first week to see who wins the division, because I don't know, in the NFC West you got the Rams, but those three teams are going to be bunched.
Yeah, I mean, well, Matthew Stafford's really going to decide, I think, that division if he's
Yeah,
healthy. I think the Rams are the best team. The Niners they've lost a lot of people, and they were inconsistent last year with just a ton of injuries too. Uh, the Seahawks, now that Carroll, Carroll's gone, and they don't. I'm not comfortable with the quarterback. I don't know. I think the Niners are better than them. I think the Seahawks are in line to struggle a little bit now.
All right, so for next 4 or 5 game, Tennessee into Denver. Both guys and Cam Ward, the number 1 pick. We'll see against that Denver line what he does and playing in the Mile High first game of his career. They're expecting big things from him, but Denver people are expecting
Yeah.
bigger things from them this season. They made the playoffs and they want them to go further. What do you say here? Denver is favored by 8.5.
Yeah, I mean, I remember last year watching. Now, I'm still mad at Bo Nix for 2019 when, as a freshman, he beat Alabama that prevented 2019 Alabama from their rematch against 2019 LSU, which you
Yeah.
would have seen two of the greatest offenses in the history of college football play in the playoffs. So I'm still kind of pissed that Bo Nix, who did, nobody ever heard of him. I mean, Auburn only they struggled scoring points all year. They wound up putting 48 up on Alabama, and they had 2 pick sixes. Smoke Monday had one. McLean had one near the end. I'm still mad at Bo Nix, but Bo Nix had a great year last year. I mean, one of the greatest rookie campaigns for any quarterback in NFL history, and no one really saw it coming. No one saw. I mean, 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 3,700 yards for rookie quarterback. That's better than Dan Marino. I know you. Well, I don't know how you feel about Marino, but I know Marino was a guy.
I feel great because Buffalo always beat Burrito. Even though he had a little bit, won a couple games, but Jim Kelly had his number.
They did, and especially when I got him up in the snow. And I remember about
Yep.
91 playoffs, right, with 34-14 or something.
Squish the fish.
Yeah. So it was funny. Ken O'Brien always got Marino too. Everybody thinks that he was drafted, but O'Brien got Marino more than he got him. But anyway, yeah. So we were talking again. I got distracted.
Yeah, it's we're talking about first of all Tennessee and Denver, and
Yeah.
then
Okay. Yeah. So Tennessee, they haven't won. They haven't won game to start the season. I think 2020 was the last time they won in week 1. And Denver, everybody's picking them to throw them the Chiefs. I don't know if they're that good, but I think their defense is excellent. Last year, remember the game they played against the Jets, which
yeah,
it was inept offense against inept offense, and then Denver pulled it out in the fourth quarter because again the Jets, just so many games, Rodgers lost them down the stretch. I think Denver. I don't know if they're good enough to beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs are just every time you expect them, okay, they're not good enough, or
take
they're
a
going to
step
fall
back.
back.
They come
Seven
back.
straight AFC Championship games. That's just ridiculous. That's Tom Brady type territory.
Yep.
So, and until somebody beats them, I think they'll continue to do what they do. But Denver's good, getting better, and I think they're going to be one of the teams that are now go into that Buffalo, Cincinnati, Baltimore mix.
Yeah. I think they're a year behind to make a run, but I know what you're saying there. Let's go with one of the last 425 games. Houston into the Rams. The Rams are favored by 3.5. Who do you like in that one?
Houston took a little step back last year in a weak division. I think they're good enough to win this South. But the Rams, again, if Stafford can play, I think the Rams are going to be the best team in the NFC West. And I think they're good enough. I think Stafford's just good enough, has enough weapons to beat Houston, which I think Houston is going to be up and down all year.
Well, now the best 4 o'clock game of them all, week 1. And, I'm surprised at the spread. Maybe you were surprised at the spread too. We got Detroit, who everybody could go to the Super Bowl again or try to get to the Super Bowl. And Green Bay, of course, Green Bay pulling that off that shocker with the Dallas, with that trade with the Cowboys there. And Yeah, the question mark if he will play. He will play. I'm telling you, he's going to play. There's always question mark. Oh, his back is come on. He wants to make an impression, and what a better way to make an impression against a rivalry team. It's Detroit, Green Bay. Green Bay is favored by 1.5. That's a little bit surprising to me because on paper I would say it's an even, but I would say Detroit's a little bit more momentum there. Who do you got?
Well, I think everyone remembers the way Detroit played. The last time they saw them, they were losing to Washington in the playoffs, and they were making mistakes, and it was something they didn't do all year. Remember, last year was the first time in team history, they've been around since 1930, that they had consecutive seasons with 10 or more wins. All right. So Detroit's not necessarily used to continued success, even though they've won the division in the last 2 years. All right.
Yeah.
We'll see. They lost both their coordinators. I think that you have Jared Goff. They've still got plenty of weapons on offense. They still got the same type of weapons on defense. I think they're going to be a team to contend with in the NFC.
All right, that's Mark Everett Kelly, two-time Emmy Award winner for ESPN. Mark will be back to preview Sunday night and Monday Night Football. But before we go and another show and preview those two matchups, Mark, tell them how they could reach you on social media and what are you doing nowadays, because you have a tremendous show under the banner of Timeout here on Fired Up Network. Tell everybody about it.
Well, thank you once again for promoting us. It means a lot. I know when I would do the intros and outros with the students, I would say, "Hey, you're sending this out to over 200 different platforms. That's not bad, huh?" Thank you very much for helping out.
My pleasure. And honestly, I'm very proud. And we go way back, but I'm very, very proud to have you on. And like I keep on mentioning, two-time Emmy Award winner, but you could see fans who have never seen you and heard you. You could see the knowledge that he has, and it's not only on football, because I'm going to use you for baseball when the Blue Jays beat the New York Yankees. We got a big series this weekend in New York, and hockey. I don't have to tell you. We're Toronto, 1967. I'm not born in 1967. I don't think you were born in 1967,
No,
right?
I wasn't.
So we'll touch on that throughout the year. But great addition to the Fired Up Network. But tell everybody how to get a hold of you, social media, and again, check out that special. I think he did 10 or 12 episodes already under the banner Fired Up Network, but under the banner of Timeout. Available on 212 platforms, and we also air the video of those shows here on the Fired Up Network, and we play the audio on the 212 platforms like iHeartRadio, Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, you name it, we're on it.
And I'm here. One of the sponsors we have, the Cattle Stampede over here in Fort Payne. Bobby Ledbetter's Twin City Auto Sales is another sponsor that really make this possible. And the kids in the schools here in DeKalb County. We got 8 county schools and 1 city school, which is Fort Payne. The fall sports that are going on here, or volleyball, football, which football down south in Alabama is probably the most popular thing ever. Okay, especially high school football. And to me, Northeast Alabama sports. You can find us on Facebook. You can find me at Mark Everett Kelly on Facebook. Those two monikers, where I post a lot of different stuff. I go to a lot of volleyball games trying to promote that sport, because to me it's a great sport. I never really watched it before, but the power and speed of these girls and these coaches, they put in 17, 18-hour days. So they're really dedicated. It's year-round here for all schools and all sports. And they're building programs. It's almost like college level, where you start very low. With the kids, elementary kids, and then you go all the way up to high school, and you kind of mentor everybody through.
And everybody who's watching that show, I gotta say this, because I watched the show. You do a tremendous job on it, but you could see the passion of the kids, and that's what they're not making $20 million, and like Vlad Guerrero signing $500 million. Who knows if they're making $5, but you could see the passion and the excitement, and that's what sports is all about.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and with the coaches and everything, and these are proud coaches. These are great people. And everybody in the community, it's community-based, and that's really what sells it. It's the mom-and-pop stores, the businesses that rely on the community. And like I said, I'm a storyteller, and I have the honor of telling stories of these incredible young men and women and these coaches and teachers.
All right, that's Mark Everett Kelly again. He'll be back for Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football preview. Thanks a lot, Mark.
Yep.